So I spent 3 months mapping out our process when the leading domino, not the pizza, the leading domino is execute, make a decision, and make it happen. The lesson, the feedback that you get is where you make the correction. It's not good or bad, it just is. It's just feedback. So your ability to move quickly and correct determines the speed with which you get your goal, but more importantly, the speed with which you get unstuck. Because the definition of stuck is you're not moving. Like, this is stuck.
Hey guys, welcome to the Painter's Circle, where we help painting business owners scale their operations, increase profitability, and gain more time freedom. I'm Taz Mullis, and in this podcast, I'll share actionable tips, expert strategies, and real-world insights that'll help you grow your painting business without burning you out. Ready to take your painting business to the next level? Let's go. Oh yeah!
Hey guys, trust you super well. It's Taz here, and the red shirt is back. Now, if you like this podcast, please subscribe because we want to share the message to as many painting business owners as we can. Now, on today's episode, I'm going to cover something that's reoccurring with clients and potential clients that I speak to week in and week out. And that is how to get unstuck in your painting business. For the most part, most business owners I speak to, they get stuck in making decisions. They got way too much overwhelm. They're way overworked and they feel like they're always stuck in parts of their business. Does that sound like you? Have you ever been stuck in your business? I know I have. So today's episode, we're going to do how to get unstuck in your painting business. I'm going to cover the situations that are creating where you're getting stuck, but more importantly, how to never get stuck in your painting business again. I know it's a big call, but bear with me as I share what I do in my businesses and what I do with our clients week in and week out. Let's do it. So, how to not get stuck in your painting business. I'm sharing with you today this cool little diagram. Now, this diagram is called a Y-frame. This is the framework. This is a framework that I use to solve problems, to get me unstuck. And I'm going to tell you why, how, and how to use this so you don't get stuck, or you get stuck less and less over time. Now, Ken, do I do this in our painting business?
Yes.
100%. This is real world stuff. I do this in the real world. I'm going to show you how it works and how to use it for you and your business so you don't get stuck anymore. So I'm going to tell you a secret. Unless you're a client, you don't usually get this information. So I'm sharing this hot off the press. So as you can see, it's a diagram. Most people get stuck because they go, Taz, or insert the person they're talking to, how do I make more sales? Or how do I recruit great painters? Or how do I improve my profits? Or how do I get better control of my team? Or how do I insert the thing that you want? Does that sound about right? Have you ever asked a how question? Like, how do I do something? Now, before we move on, I want to cover 3 critical steps. 1, I like to have a framework because problems and things that you're trying to solve in your business, for the best part, are always going to be there. So for me, if I'm always going to be solving problems or projects in my business, it makes 100% sense that I have a framework, a way of me to process how I'm going to do the thing because I want to eliminate me getting stuck. I want to uncomplicate this process so you have a process, whether you use this process or you create another process, whatever happens to be. So the number 1 key part is have a framework for getting unstuck. Number 2 is typically every person I talk to when they're stuck come with me with a how question. Taz, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? And I go, I have no idea. Taz, how do I run Google Ads? I don't know idea. How do I run Facebook Ads? Well, I got no idea. Because you're asking, or potentially asking, no, you're actually asking the wrong question. Because I'm going to tell you now, guys, a how question, you know what a how question does? It kills your momentum. It kills your goals. Don't start with a how question. If it is, I'm going to pick something and you just insert the thing that you're trying to solve. Let's say is you want to, how do I make more sales in my business? Okay? I can't answer that question because it's not clear enough. The right question is, what do you want? So if you're making 50 grand worth of sales a month, and your question is, how do I make 100K of sales per month? So what do you want? I want to make an extra 50K per month in revenue in my business. So your first question always is, what do you want? Not how. Because your how is determined by what you want. Because if you were to tell me you had a 50K a month business and you wanted to turn it into a 500K a month business, the how to do that, they are very different sports. The how to double your revenue or 10 times your revenue are not the same activities. So before you even get into how, which, what did I say? Kills your momentum and kills your goals, I want you to stop and go, what do I want from this activity? Okay, great. You've identified, I want 100K in sales. From 50 to 100, great. What do you want? The second question is, why do you want it? Do you want to grow your team? You want to invest in the business and get a shed so you can move your business and office into a shed and away from home? Do you want to grow your fleet? Do you want to build a website? I'm not sure. But you know what you want? You have to know why you want it. So I'm going to write, because you want a shed. And let's say, and a website. Oh, and let's actually add, and I want to build job management. So I want a job management system. So you know what you want, and you know why you want it. I haven't even looked at how. I don't care about how. How kills momentum and kills your goals, because there's too many variables here if you're not clear on the what and you're not clear on the why. Now, it may look like I'm oversimplifying it. It's because I am. I have done this so many times over the past decade, more than a decade, that this framework is the way that I filter questions and problems. I won't even get into how. If I start with how, I'm stuck every single time. That is the number one way to get stuck in your business, is by asking a how question. I'll get into why that happens, but it is asking a how question. It creates the wrong framework for you to operate, okay? So I want you to start thinking about, what do I want specifically in your business? Don't go super high level, go zero in. What specifically do I want? Why do I want it? Now, if these two resonate with you, because you may go, I want to make 100 grand. Oh, I don't actually want that. Then you're not going to spend the next 3 to 6 months doing all this house stuff when you don't even want it anyway. These two are a filter before moving this way, because you know what happens? Bright, shiny objects. You've heard me cover this before. 3 steps to winning: eliminate distractions, get better, hold your standard. Now, if you keep adding stuff to your plate, more hows and more hows, you are not eliminating distractions, you are actually adding distractions. This side of the Y-frame, the right-hand side of it, is filtering out the distractions. Because if you don't know what you want or why you want it, I'm telling you now, don't mess around with how stuff. This corner is the distraction. It's not about how much stuff can you do. It's about what do you want and why do you want it. Then comes how, okay? Then comes how, because how is specifically related on hitting that because of that. Because if you just make money and you don't know why you're doing it, I'm telling you now, you're just going to spend it. You're going to blow it. But if you make money because you want to get a shed or build a website and or build a job management system, then you have a why that's going to drive you through any how and complicated process. Because if this requires you to do something, you don't know why you're doing it, you ain't going to do it. So the how comes after what and why. Now, open loop, when is time frame? So we have a what, we want to get to 100K in sales. We're at 50, we want to double our revenue. Why? Shed website job management, or insert other reasons why. How? You'll determine, okay, we need a marketing strategy. We need to improve our pricing. There's 3 areas to focus on: pricing, performance, and your pipeline. What area do you need to focus on the most? It may be pricing, maybe performance of your team, maybe getting your pipeline filled. I don't know. But at least you know, based on these, where do you focus? When, pretty self-explanatory, over a period of time. So when is more time frame. So in what time frame? This financial year, in the next 12 months, in the next 24 months, because everything is measured by time. Because you can have what you want and why you want it and how you're going to do it, but without time, it's just a never-ending thing. So you have to put a well, you don't have to. I encourage you to put a deadline, because a deadline creates urgency. And for me, urgency in business is critical. Without urgency, nothing gets done. When? You must move first. When I say you, I mean you. You need to move towards that direction first. No one else is going to do it for you. You need to do it first. So this is the first critical step. You must move. You know why people don't move when they're stuck? Because they're unsure. Because they feel like, what if I do this thing and it doesn't work? Well, what if you do a thing that does work? Now, I've shared this principle before: correct, don't protect. When you commit to an activity, your first job is to move in that direction with urgency. What you're going to get is feedback. Now, I'm not going to get into a woo-woo conversation about feedback, but you don't need to label it good and bad. Feedback is feedback. So an example is, oh, we're going to run a Google Ads campaign for the next 12 months. Cool. It works or it doesn't work, whatever. The feedback is, we are attracting X. Our cost per lead is Y. Our cost per client is whatever. Our average dollar sale is not high enough. That is the feedback that you get, so you can correct. The second part of getting stuck is, people will work out what, why, and how, but won't execute. You need to move. And the feedback from moving is how you correct. What happens is they do all this work. They do all the planning. They know what they want. They know why they want it. They've got a detailed, step-by-step process of how they're going to do it. So I spend 3 months mapping out our process. When the leading domino, not the pizza, the leading domino is execute, make a decision, and make it happen. The lesson, the feedback that you get is where you make the correction. It's not good or bad, it just is. It's just feedback. So your ability to move quickly and correct determines the speed with which you get your goal, but more importantly, the speed with which you get unstuck. Because the definition of stuck is you're not moving. Like, this is stuck, I'm not moving. How do you get unstuck? Move. Move in the direction. Now, will it work? Will it won't? It's irrelevant if it does or doesn't. You will learn for you and your business if it does or doesn't.
Just quickly, guys, if you're a painting business owner and you're overworked, overwhelmed, and underpaid, we can help. Hit the link below in the show notes to learn more. Now back to the episode.
There's a bit of a joke within our circle and within the mastery clients and golden circle clients. that whenever I've been framed a question, they already know that I'm going to answer with depends. Because it depends. Every question someone asks me about how, I always put the filter through, well, what do you want? And what do you want? I don't know if it's going to work until you're clear why you want it and you execute, because the feedback is going to work. Because what works for me in my painting business here in Brisbane may not work for you in your painting business in Sydney. The only way to find out is to execute. Now, I can share with you the framework. I can share with you the process. I can share with you the metrics, but I can't share with you the execution, because just like personal fitness, I cannot do the push-ups for you. I can give you the plan, I can give you the tools, and I can give you the support, but I can't lift the barbell for you. Only you can. And the feedback you'll get, it's too heavy or too light. Whatever the feedback is, and we correct. So the second part of getting unstuck is move. Don't stay still. Staying still is logically the complete opposite of moving. Just don't stay still. You want to get unstuck? Decide what you want, decide why you want it, determine the how you're going to do it, and move and get feedback over a timeline. Now, what happens, I'm going to go deeper into this. So what happens over time is, as a business owner, you get busy. As much as you're eliminating distractions, we still have lives. We have family lives, health, relationships, community, all these external things that happen in our lives. So we can't just keep adding things to our plate in our business. So there is a point where I encourage you to start thinking differently and hold this new perspective in your mind. Who, not how. An example would that be, you know what you want? I need to increase sales. I know I want to do it. Shed, website, job management, insert the thing that why you want to do it. How, maybe, just maybe, you don't want to run Google Ads. Maybe, just maybe, you don't run Facebook ads. Maybe, just maybe, you're an introvert and you don't like face-to-face sales. Maybe. Let me tell you a secret. This might be hard to believe. I'm actually naturally an introvert. It wasn't until I turned 40, just 12 years ago, where I spoke in public for the first time. 40 years old. Fear beyond measure of public speaking and speaking in public. That's not to say I couldn't get on with people, but I am naturally introverted. Now, I've had to work, do reps, and understand that my ability to communicate at that level is the thing that changed my business. So I've become better at it. Hence, I'm doing this. But my natural inclination is not extrovert. I'd rather be in my office by myself in front of a computer every day of the week, or drawing flip charts. Funny story, legit. So the next level of how is who can do this for me. Now, what happens with who is, as business owners, and I'm going to use a real life story about a client of mine, happened to me, but I'll use his story. John, very good business. Good team, good business, good clients, was doing all the admin, all the output, was very involved in throughput, scheduling and operations, and was doing sales. John was working 70 hours a week. Can you see how that constraint with a couple of young kids would be a lot of pressure? There was no more things he could do. So John, like most business owners, like I did once upon a time 17, 18 years ago, was how do I become more efficient at doing business administration. So we're trying to become more efficient at doing the thing that doesn't make us money. And in this instance, for John and for me, and for many, many of our clients and people we work with, finding a who could do everything in business administration during the week, before 3 o'clock, invoices done, emails done, communication done, colors sorted, clients spoken to, all hours tracked, all done during the day, so John or Taz didn't have to spend after dinner time sending invoices, scheduling jobs tomorrow, ordering paint. Insert all that stuff after hours, because as much as we can try and simplify the process in how, getting a who is way, way faster. Because now you have a person in the business, 20, 30, 40 hours a week of their time doing all the how activity. So you have your 20, 30, 40 hours a week doing the other activities where you add value to the business. So the real meta skill set is understanding how, by the way, how, and I've said this before, kills momentum and kills your goals, because it's a lot of noise and activity. If you can start moving towards who can help me do this, as in, I do not want to become a meta ads expert. It sounds like, for me, hell. I do not want to become a Google ads expert, because how, if I want to make more money, I need to get more eyeballs on the business, so I can get more leads, get more quotes, so I can do more quotes, so I can increase sales. But it just sounds like sucks. Absolutely sucks. So moving to who, I get the outcome that I want. And there's so many areas of business like that. So the skill set of switching between how do I do this to who can help me, having a bookkeeper. I moved out of, I used to be how? In QPaint, 2000, the year 2000, I sat in a MYOB training classroom with everybody else was female, learning how to use MYOB, which is an accounting bookkeeping software, with a disk. You put a disk into the computer and you'd use that to track invoices, expenses, do quotes and everything like that. I sat there for a weekend. How? It was great to know it, but there's no way that I'm doing that now. I have a who, because this is noise. Keeps me busy. I'm not sure if in your business that you find value in front of sitting at a computer and reconciling accounts. I don't know, maybe you do. But having a who here speeds you up, gets you unstuck way faster. I had another question recently. Actually, this happened twice. This happened twice in the last month. Taz, when is the right time to hire a salesperson versus me getting better at sales? Which is a really good question, because you have a question around a who and a how. Both valid. This is where we get split, because I understand whether it's in your business, there are probably certain areas of your business where the business doesn't have the capacity to support or pay for the resource of having a salesperson or another body, okay? You may or may not. But if you start thinking about your business and go, okay, this is the next right move in my business. This is what I want. This is why I want it. How I'm going to do it, an option could be an additional salesperson, because in your business, once you know what you want and why you want it, and you analyze your numbers and you know, we have an abundance of leads and quotes that can't be done because me as the business owner, I am stuck running everything else. I am leaving money on the table. That's that question in that frame. So you're switching between how do I make more sales to who can make me more sales. But the question was very specific. How do I decide, or what is the trigger between doing it, becoming better at the thing, and getting someone in? Every business is different. Every business is different. So if you look at the 3 core functions of your business: input, sales and marketing; throughput, operations and scheduling; output, business administration. Your total week hours is tied up between all those. You need to identify where those hours are. Remove yourself as much as possible from business administration. Get into operations and scheduling. Build your operational performance in there so you can move to sales. Now, the question is, where do I focus my time on getting better? And where do I focus my time on finding a who? That all comes down to your time constraints. If you have time in your week, I would encourage you to get better at sales, because becoming better at sales is becoming a better communicator. It's not about selling your services. It's not about selling your painting services when you become a better communicator and better at sales. Because sales is, for me, a total function of the whole business. You are always selling. When I say you're always selling, your ability to attract talent to your business, so people coming to work for you, is your ability to sell your business to the marketplace. People will be attracted to you because of your standards and the standards that you hold, and your ability to communicate standards out to the world gets it on the eyeballs where people go, oh, look, that place looks like a great place to work. I'd love to work there. That's one part of sales. The low-hanging fruit is the one that everyone thinks it's about. It's about winning work. Yeah, that's a part of it, but it's not the only driver of sales in your business. And the third part is your ability to communicate to stakeholders and your network, because your ability to build relationships increases the amount of eyeballs and referrals and networking and clients that continually stay with you because of the relationship you have, because you can communicate, is also part of sales. So I would always encourage your first point of call to get better at the thing, but then really quickly switch to who can help me do it, because you'll move faster. And the way you make that decision is based on the priorities of the business. So what I'm saying is, if the how is, I need to become better at Xero and reconciling accounts and tracking projects and printing out reports, that is not the highest priority of you in your business, because it won't move you towards the goal of hitting that. Being good at data entry doesn't hit this number. Remember, this is based on this. So if this is the goal, becoming better at doing accounts won't get this goal. So you let that one go. That's a who one. But when you come into sales, or even let's say operations, and you don't have an operations manager, is okay. Right now, I am going to go into operations. I am going to set the targets. I'm going to be the leader of the business, and I'm going to train my team on performance, hitting budget hours, giving them feedback and correcting. And then I'm going to do that because I'm going to get better at that part of the business. And then I'm going to recruit someone, a who, to take over from me. That's smart, because running jobs efficiently has a better way of hitting your 100K. Me, I love to go into sales, because, whether you've heard this before, sales is where you make the money, which is input. Throughput is where you spend the money, and you want to do it as efficiently as possible. And output's where you track the money. So for me, if the goal is to go from 50 to 100K a month in sales because I want shared website job management, then the fastest way there is to get better at sales. That's the fastest way. See how I put everything through that filter? To remove me getting stuck, because you get stuck, because you get overwhelmed. You get overwhelmed because of too many decisions. You've got too many decisions because you're not clear. It's a vicious loop. You want to get clear? Framework. My framework's great. Actually, not my framework. I can't remember who gave it to me, but I learned it like 10 years ago. Why frame? What? Why? How? Always what first, second why, then how. If you go to how first, you are guaranteed to get stuck. You are guaranteed to spin your wheels. You're guaranteed not to make a decision. You're guaranteed to get overwhelmed. You're guaranteed, I'm telling you now, to not do the thing. And it'll just sit there and it'll be kind of those, I should do this thing. You know what? I never had time to do that thing. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, whatever. Once you get to the sales component and you become better at sales, that's when you can start looking at who for every other part of the business, because sales gives you the ability, once you get close to 100K, to implement extra stuff. So, reverse engineer, framework. How do you get unstuck? People get stuck when they're solving problems. Problems or projects in your business are always going to be there. So create your process or your framework, or just rip my framework off and start putting things through that filter. I'm annoying like this. When something comes at me, I put it through the filter. What do you want? Why do you want it? I won't even touch how, because how is, there's too many ways to do something if we're not clear on the what and the why. Because ultimately, we want to reduce getting stuck in your business. Trust that was super helpful. Stay cool, be well, and as usual, see you in the interwebs. Bye.
Hey guys, if you got value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss expert tips. If you want some support, check out the link in the show notes and see how we can help you. Don't forget to follow us on socials @PainterCoach. Stay cool, be well, and as usual, see you in the interwebs. Bye.